Hello again, YouTube, and welcome back to Since Memories of a Starry Sky. My name is MS-Punker1, and last video we were back at the old state together with everyone to search for this supposed hidden treasure that Kido told us about. But so far we didn't find any treasure, but what we did find left us kinda speechless. So, what is actually going on here? What does everything mean? Let's find out. I hadn't seen this in ages. This was a dream. This was the moment of the accident. Oh, yeah, there was a... I recognize those pants. Kido has the key. Just now, something... Then again... Okay, I think I actually start to get something together here. Because there would only be one reason for Kido to be there. That is if he is the other party. Chihaya was one party. We Junior too, but let's just say Chihaya. Chihaya was one party in that accident. And sure, he could have done something himself and just went into the wall, but someone picked up that key, which must be that mean that it's another party. And we have only seen that costume on some one other person. So Kido has the key, and he was there. So did he actually cause that accident? So it wasn't an accident, but it was murder. The pieces are falling together. Just now, something... Someone just took something. It can't be. You know, something I had seen many times before. Not my imagination, but something that was supposed to have actually happened. Had I overlooked it before, or was it a case of the pieces finally coming together? It's the last thing. It had been there at the time in that place. The key. Sure. Sorry, I had you come all the way here. Before it was at the accident site. Yesterday at the old estate, and today at my own house. I never imagined I would get to see Chihaya this much. A prior temporary lapse in contact almost seemed unreal. Talk about ironic. Me no longer being allowed to set foot on Hojo property had made it so Chihaya could openly visit my house instead.
ひょっとしてまだ寝てたの？私ちょっと早く来すぎた。
I guess gaze shifted to the top of my head. Deadhead, huh? No, I just overslept.
それならいいんだけど、なんだか顔色も良くない気がする。
It just looks that way because I haven't washed my face yet. That's all.
無理はしないでね。
Chihaya looked concerned. Could she tell I had a nightmare? It was very difficult to hide how you really felt from the people around you.
順にまだ目が覚めてないならきついの一発言っとく。
Enough with the axe kicks already. Seriously.
みそらちゃん、はいこれお土産。うお、鏡スイーツの真っ赤だ。いやー、いつ見てもラブチル。あだーす。これアイノにもお裾分けしていい？今日会うんだ。もちろんいいわよ。学校？そうなの、まだあるの。こんな暑くなってきてるんだからさ、もう夏休みでもよくない？
No skipping, alright.
もう分かってるよ。そんな不良じゃありません。というわけで、帰ってきたら高兄の遺品捜索大作戦、私たちも手伝うから、それまでよろしく。ええ、いってらっしゃい。
The key Chihaya's grandfather was said to have left in my brother's care. There hadn't been anything like that when I sorted through my brother's mementos before. It was only natural that I searched through his belongings one more time, but I never thought I'd be doing this with Chihaya. Susa was especially eager to come over, but she had to go to work and couldn't change it. Hinata and Shunyu had their own errands to take care of first, and both Mr. Orr and Aino had had class. I guess it was fine since this particular task didn't require a lot of people.
Ah, Chihaya-san, いらっしゃい。
おはようございます、おじさま。お邪魔しております。先日はせっかくお越しくださったのに、父が失礼をいたしまして、申し訳ございませんでした。
いやいや、元はといえばうちの具足がしでかしたこと、重ねてお詫び申し上げる。
And my old man bowed to Chihaya. I assumed a similar stance. The very night I learned my dad had visited Chihaya's father to apologize on my behalf. I fell to my hands and knees to express my heartfelt gratitude for what he had done. And I felt guilty all over again when he bowed to Chihaya right in front of me.
いえ、純也くんは私の境遇を見かねて行動してくださっただけですから。今日こうしてここへお邪魔できるのも彼のおかげです。感謝しています。
I really did appreciate the sentiment, but the results suggested I had probably broken even.
とはいえ筋は通さなければ。お父様には重ね重ね水元が詫びていたとお伝えください。
もちろん伝えさせていただきます。さあ、頭をお上げになって。
ご温情痛み入ります。
はいはい、もうみんなお互い悪気はなかったって分かってんでしょ。だったらおしまい、お開き。いつまで堅苦しく頭下げ合ってんの。
Misora very well may never be an end to this, but it was amazing how poorly she had read the mood.
私も出なきゃだけど、あとはみんな仲良く水に流して OK。
Chihaya and Dad were taken aback. And then they gave a strange smile.
まったくこの年になってなお子供に教えられることが多いよ。
みそらちゃん、ありがとう。みそらちゃんにはかなわないね。
このうちで一番の実力者を目指してるからね、私。
Isn't are you supposed to be that? Was this youth or possibly the manifestation of her mommy mentality?
それにしても本当に思いもかけないことになったね。
You said it. Thanks to Misora, she put an end to the battle of apologies between me and my old man and Chihaya. After Chihaya offered incense at my brother's altar, we finally got down to brass tacks.
さて、どこから手をつければいい？指示して。
Chihaya behaved as she usually did, but we were dealing with a deceased person's personal belongings after all. It was a given that she would want permission from his family first. Before we get into that, I'd like to talk to you about something.
私に？ここでわざわざ言い出したってことは、高谷さんに関わる話？
Yeah. I told her about the dream I'd woken up from, the one I had shortly before she commented on how pale I looked. Now that we were alone, I felt it necessary to explain this missing key business to her while I had a chance. There are parts of my memory that are still fuzzy, and it's possible some of it was overwritten from visual thinking.
純也にしてはずいぶん最初から言い訳を用意してない？私じゃないんだからはっきりして。
Don't say that about yourself, Chihaya. As tempting as it was, this wasn't the time for me to poke fun at her. Out of all the things she could have said, just say it. Wasn't one of them though.
大丈夫。純也の言うことなら、私どんなことでも信じるから。
Yeah. It wasn't like I didn't question how she had a total and complete faith in me. A childhood friend who trusted me completely, even when I was second guessing myself, was a welcome change. It meant even more knowing she was the person I loved most, even though we could never be. I may have seen the key at the scene of the accident. Chihiya's expression immediately went rigged when the words fell from my lips.
ごめんなさい。確かにそれは私が同じ立場でも不安になりそう。
Hinata had suggested to me that Chihaya may have blocked out the memory of being separated from Azusa at a young age in order to emotionally protect herself. Could she say that because she had personal experience? Also, was I in a similar situation? It was a dicey subject to say the least. Setting aside whatever my dream is right or wrong, the site of where the accident that took place has been permanently seared into my brain long before I learned about the key. Let's just assume that helped me recognize it. But I really do think I saw that key in the middle of the road immediately after the accident happened.
それがおじいさまの残した鍵と同じものかもしれない。
Can't say for sure, but now that I know your grandfather gave it to Chihaya.
可能性は大きいということね。わかった。事実という前提で考えましょう。
Chihaya really did trust me unconditionally, and I couldn't even begin to explain how good it felt for her to agree with me with zero hesitation.
でもそうなると。
She must have mused along while serving the room.
ここには鍵がないことにならない？
Yeah, if the key had been at the site of it, then it was difficult to imagine that it would be here. That Chihaya had left it behind in his own room. It would mean that my brother had the key on his person at the time of the accident.
あるとすれば警察？
No, all of his mementos should have been returned to us, and those are all here. However, it most likely wasn't here. If anything, that meant the police hadn't picked up the key when they were investigating the site of the accident.
まさかとは思うけど、今も事故現場に落ちてるなんてことは。
Definitely not. We visited that place plenty of times ourselves. Would I overlook a key unless I were consciously searching for it? Yeah, that seemed unlikely to me. The police should have done a further inspection of the site as well. Also, this is also fuzzy to me, but I think someone picked it up.
それも思い出したの？夢で見た？
Yeah. I nodded and Chihaya rested her chin on her hand, appearing deep in thought. I wouldn't have been shocked if this had been difficult for her to believe.
事故直後でしょ？騒ぎになってたはずの場所でそんなことをする人がいるの？
Yeah, I guess it would be difficult for Chihaya to picture a looter being there. Sadly to say, there very much were people like that in this world.
いたとしても、それは拾得物として交番に届けて。 ああ、ダメか。届けられてたとしても、私たちには鍵の見た目もわからないんだった。
More or less. If someone had turned it in, that was, well, if that were the case, then we could start our search by reaching out to the local police. Whichever the case, one possibility that kept becoming increasingly likely was that it wasn't here. That was why I had told her this.
念のためもう一度探すという話に変更はなしよね。
Might wind up being a wasted effort, but are you okay with that? Now that I had told her about my dream, I worried of the potential for preconceived notions, and we would do a poor job searching through Chihaya's belongings.
より注意深く念入りに見落としがないように探せばいいのよね。
We appeared to be on the same wavelength, and childhood friends like her really were hard to come by. Let's do it. If we could rule out the possibility that the key wasn't here, and that would bring us one step closer to our goal. I had to hype myself up somehow, or else the search for something that may or may not have been here would be utterly depressing. What's more, and I couldn't tell Chihaya this, but I had been feeling down in the dumps ever since I woke up. As for why, it was because I realized that I failed to act all over again.
やっぱりなさそうね。
Looks like it. Chihaya and I had split the work on taking a brief lunch break in the middle to carefully and exhaustively examine each and every one of Chihaya's mementos. To examine every nook and cranny as a team meant we had double-checked the entirety of the space. A similar practice I exchanged extra work to reduce the odds of making a mistake, but even then, we hadn't found a key or anything that resembled one.
こうなると次は純也が見た夢のお告げに従うべき？
An oracle?
そう考えた方が気が楽じゃない？
Was she worried I had been suffering from nightmares? It felt like she was being overly considerate of me.
あの事故現場で鍵を拾った人がいる。その前提で該当者を探すの。
A manhunter? Sigendo occasionally received requests like that, but a detective would be better suited for the task. Besides, if it was related to that accident, there may have been people who had heard the collision and came to check on us. But I doubt that anyone would have been present at the actual moment the accident occurred. I'd also heard the police had looked for witnesses, but hadn't gotten their hands on any strong testimony.
気が進まない？
A worried expression across rose to Chihaya's face. Could that be because I hadn't given her a clear answer? It's nothing like that. Yeah, even I knew how hopeless this was. I really could only give her a half-hearted response at this point too.
あの日のことを思い出しても辛いだけなのはよくわかるから無理しなくていいけど。
Doesn't Junior remember so that we see the saw the legs of the person who picked up the key, and that we have seen that pattern of suit before? No, I finally remembered, and I like to at least put that to some use. I felt exhausted and sat down in place. This was pathetic on me, but I was kind of wiped out. If only I could remember their face. But you remember their legs. It wasn't just my brother. I couldn't protect the key either. I clenched my dominant hand tightly into the ball. I felt no pain. If anything, I was impatient.
そんなこと言わないで。
Chihaya sat on her knees beside me and appeared to be fighting back tears.
あの時、純也は鍵のことなんて知らなかったでしょ。それに、純也だって怪我をして動けなかったんだから、無理よ。鍵を守るなんて。
Even if that's true, even if it were true, that was all the more reason. If only I had stood up and immediately gotten a full grasp on the situation. There was a throbbing pain in the back of my head. It was almost like the part of me that had been injured in the accident was asserting itself, telling me to not to forget it. It was there. If I had been stronger, then maybe there would have made off with if I had been stronger, then maybe they wouldn't have made off with the key. My brother might still be alive. Every attempt to push those feelings away came rushing back to the surface. And I couldn't hear the voice that had tormenting me since the accident. Had been tormenting me. Sounds better. As I saw now that forgot a couple of words. Nobody would say it to me. No one dared put it into words. They would be considerate and ask how I was doing, but no one would ever say it out loud to me. Pretty much the only one to ever be straightforward and blame me had been Azusa. For that one brief moment, it felt like I have found salvation, even.
純也、
In that case, I at least like to make use of his memory. Where it is again. What I knew was that the key wasn't here. No matter how hard I tried to think positively. All that came of it was an ever-increasing sense of futility. Where was it then? Where was it? That was what I wanted to know. Having all these random thoughts in my hand, when I can't even piece together whatever that was, a dream or a daydream or a real memory. It's so frustrating. There's no way my brother would sit and whine about the lost key if he were here. And he actually found the damn thing. Was it that why people trusted him so much? And why your grandfather gave it to him in the first place? Hmm? Chihaya drew close and took my hand. I couldn't help but why she suddenly cradled my hand in her own. It wasn't until then that I realized my hands were shaking and drenched in sweat.
あの事故現場にいたらすぐに純也を助けられたかもしれないのにとか、おじいさまが高谷さんに鍵を預けたという場に私がいたらとかね。おじいさまはどうして私じゃなく高谷さんに鍵を預けたのって疑問だって感じる。
Well, the key seemed to be for Azusa, so that's...
わかってる。おじいさまは多分私たちをびっくりさせようと思って隠してただけだろうなって。誰にでもどうしようもないこと、後悔してもどうにもならないことってあるんじゃない？
Even Chihaya had regrets, like with the maid, for example. Was she trying to nestle up to me because you were the same?
疲れてると考えが暗くなってしまうものよ。純也、ちゃんと寝てないでしょ？
Maybe not. Was Chihaya trying to say that I was being held at the mercy of my memories? That this was all the fault of my dreams?
一区切りついたんだし、少し寝直したら？休めば気分もすっきりするんじゃない？あ、なんだったら私の膝を貸してあげましょうか？膝枕一度やってみたかったのよね。
Dummy. How could I do something so embarrassing? I had no idea when Misora or my dad, who was currently out on job, would be back. We were only alone for a short time. What's more, Chihaya had a fiancé. She was already involved with someone else.
他人行儀ね。純也は私にもっと甘えてくれていいのに。
I basked in the warmth I felt from Chihiya's hand for a while. I didn't know for how much longer I would be allowed to feel this warmth of hers, and I felt something welling up from the depths of my heart. Chihaya. And then...
ジュニー、ちーちゃん、はかどってる？
Of course.
お邪魔します。
Oh. Thanks, sis, for destroying this romantic moment. I practically jumped to my feet on reflex. Chihaya did the same. That sounded like Misora and Aino. They came back together.
もうそんな時間？はあ、驚いた。
She was right. I mean, it wasn't like we were doing anything wrong. But it was bad for my heart.
ジュニー、ちーちゃん、いないの？はあ、とかって言ったから一緒に食べない？
少し頭を冷やさない？せっかくのご厚意だし。
Yeah, why don't we? You are liable to have the blood rush to our heads. Wait, liable? Yeah, you are liable to have blood rush to our heads at the rate we were going, so it was perfect timing, I guess. I think this can be it for this video, so I hope you liked it, and if you did so, leave a like to it as usual, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!